Welcome to episode 16, The Closing, for Building Green 2022, the digital conference. Building Green is the flagship campaign for PHILGBC's events and consists of year-round activities that encourage participation in the green building advocacy. I am Mario Sualto from the PHILGBC National Secretariat and will be today's facilitator. Thank you to the PhilGBC Board of Trustees for initiating this event. Our Board of Trustees Chair, Mr. Edgar Sabidong, Vice President and Chief Sustainability Officer of Arthaland Corporation. Vice Chair, Ms. Rowena Ramos, Principal of Ecotectonica. Secretary, Ms. Elizabeth Mendoza, Managing Director of Monocrete Construction Philippines. And Treasurer, Mr. Ramon Rufino, CEO of Neo Property Management. And the members of the Board of Trustees, Ms. Catherine Ilagan, President and COO of Philinvest Alabang, Mr. Felino Palafox Jr., Principal of Palafox Associates, Mr. Hener Liwanag, Junior Partner of GFN Partners Architects, Mr. Luis Chamon, Country Manager of Sangoban Philippines, Ms. Audrey Belpo, Managing Director of World Home Depot, Mr. Francisco Arellano, Consultant for Maynilad Water Services, and Mr. Gabriel Maria Angelo Cascante. I would also like to acknowledge the CEO of the PhilGBC, Mr. Christopher De La Cruz, the Executive Director, Ms. Mariana Tunggol, and the PhilGBC National Secretariat for organizing this conference. We would like to thank our members and sustaining corporate sponsors that support the programs of the PhilGBC and for making our activities possible. Our Diamond Sustaining Sponsor, Neo Property Management. Our Gold Sustaining Sponsor, Wall Vision Corporation. And our Silver Sustaining Sponsors, Arthaland Corporation, Daikin Air Conditioning Philippines, Ecotectonica, Firefly Electric and Lighting, GFN Partners Architects, Gigatech, KPI Elevators, Monocrete Construction Philippines, Sangoban Philippines, SMCC Philippines, Surface Repair Solutions, and World Home Depot Corporation. We would like to thank the following sponsors and strategic partners for their support in making this Building Green 2022 possible. Our Diamond Sustaining Sponsor and National Secretariat Sponsor, NEO. Our Gold Sustaining Sponsor, Wall Vision Corporation. Our BG2022 Gold Strategic Partners, Aboitiz Infra Capital Economic Estates, and City Homes Builders and Development. Our BG2022 Silver Strategic Partners, First Balfour, Daikin Air Conditioning Philippines, and Wall Vision Corporation. And our BG 2022 Bronze Strategic Partners, AGC Asia Pacific, Botanica Nature Residences, Philinvest City, Datem Incorporated, FPD Asia Property Services, and Monocrete Construction Philippines. Before we continue, please be reminded of the following event guidelines. This webinar will be recorded by the PhilGBC National Secretariat for documentation purposes. We encourage your active participation during the event. You may ask your questions using the question box in the GoToWebinar panel. Upon request, an electronic certificate of attendance will be issued by the PhilGBC National Secretariat to your registered email address, provided that you are present for more than 50% of the allotted time for each session. You have completed the feedback survey, which will be sent to your registered email address after the event, and you've requested a copy of your certificate through events@philgbc.org. As we officially close the Building Green 2022 conference, let's look back at the episodes that we hosted for the month. Building Green 2022 demonstrated how we are experiencing circularity in our green building projects today, and that there are opportunities for us to pursue regeneration in the design, construction, and operations of our projects. Through the 16 episodes hosted for BG 2022, the PhilGBC facilitated discussions with experts and partners in the industry in delivering green, healthy, and net zero buildings, districts, and cities.
The conference was officially opened during the National Green Building Day with Mr. Edgar Sabidong, Chair of the PhilGBC Board of Trustees, welcoming the conference participants, and Mr. Christopher De La Cruz delivering the opening remarks. Episode 1, the opening, also featured messages from Secretary Rafael Perpetual Lotilla of the Department of Energy, delivered by Director Patrick Aquino. Secretary Maria Antonia Yulo Loizaga of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Mr. Hilary Aho, Chair of the World Green Building Council, Ms. Christina Gamboa, CEO of the World Green Building Council, and Mr. Kari Chan, Chair of the World Green Building Council Asia Pacific Regional Network. PHILGBC believes and supports efforts of government to reach out and educate industry. In Episode 2, The Law, our speakers, Senator Mark Villar, Engineer Teodoro VR Jr. of DPWH, Mr. Kevin Anthony Balaklik of DNR, and Director Patrick Aquino of DOE, shared updates on current and emerging policies that promote energy efficiency, resource efficiency, biodiversity, as well as the proposed bill for the Bicycle Act. Local challenges call for local solutions, and our speakers during Episode 3, the Local Government Forum, Mayor Marlene Abigail Binay of the City of Makati and Engineer Panganiban, Mayor Jerry Treñas of City of Iloilo and Engineer Neil Ravena, Engineer Cristal Cosedo of the City of Mandaue, representing Mayor Jonas Cortez, shared their insight, expertise, and experience in planning and implementing strategic, effective, and appropriate green levers from their respective jurisdictions. During this year's World Green Building Week, leaders from the World Green Building Council Asia Pacific Regional Network shared their green building programs that provide positive outcomes for people, planet, and profit. Episode 4, The World, featured Ms. Joy Esther Guy, Head of Asia Pacific Programs of the World Green Building Council, Dr. Kari Chan, Executive Director of Hong Kong Green Building Council and Chair of the World GBC APN, Ms. Yvonne So, Executive Director of Singapore Green Building Council, Ms. Hang Fan, Chair of Vietnam Green Building Council, Mr. CK Tang, Chief Executive Officer of Malaysia Green Building Council, Mr. Surendro, Executive Director of GBC Indonesia, Mr. M. Anand, Deputy Executive Director of Indian GBC, Mr. Yasushi Kinoshita, Co-Chairperson of Green Building Japan, and Mr. Jeff Oatman, Head Collaboration and Membership of GBC Australia.
During Episode 5, The Women in Green Building, the PHILGBC continued the conversation with women leaders on how they mentor, inspire, and lead to achieve the sustainability goals of their respective organizations. Ms. Rowena Ramos, Vice Chair of the PHILGBC Board of Trustees and Principal of Ecotectonica, and Ms. G. Garcia, Managing Director of NEO, facilitated the panel, which included architect Araceli Barlang, Senro of City of Mandaue, Dr. Linda Milan, and Ms. Lani Canapi, Procurement Head of Artholan Corporation. During the episode, the PHILGBC also presented the winners of the 2022 PHILGBC Leadership in Green Building Awards held last July. The PHILGBC supports decision makers in procuring materials and services that will help them achieve the sustainability targets for their green building projects. Episode 6, The Green Building Marketplace, featured presentations from Engineer Jo Marie de Guzman, Consulting Sales Engineer of Daikin Air Conditioning Philippines, Mr. Ronald Yu, Marketing Manager of First Balfour Inc., Mr. Aldris Chinjuanco, Vice President of World Vision Corporation, Mr. Eric C., Project Sales Manager of Cobantian Hardware for Dyson Electronics Private Limited Philippines, Ms. Catherine Lipana Gomez, Deals and Corporate Finance and ESG Partner of PwC Philippines, Mr. Rajiv Pralhan, Partner, and Mr. Gopal NT, Manager of PwC India, and Ms. Gabe Onkinko, Business Development Head of Drink Sustainability Communications. With the release of the PHILGBC Health and Wellbeing for Buildings version 1.0.0, we recognize the actions of the pilot projects for the tool during Episode 7, The Health and Wellbeing. Mr. Raymond Rufino, Chief Executive Officer of NEO for the 5 NEO project, and Ms. Apple de los Reyes, Project Development of Philinvest Alabang Inc. for Botanica Nature Residences Tower 1 project, share their experience and insights in how they address the health and well-being priorities of their respective H&W certified projects. In addition, Dr. Lilibet David, Undersecretary of the Department of Health, shared a message on the initiatives of the DOH for healthy and resilient health facilities. Mr. Jeroen Van Straten, founder of Indoor Care, and Ms. Veronica Villanueva shared their expertise and insights on health and well-being focused technologies and services. Episode 8, The Circularity, showcased presentations from Dr. Justino Arboleda, founder of Coco Technologies Corporation, Attorney Dwight Ramos, Senior Vice President of IPM Construction and Development Corporation, Mr. Carlo Delantar, Head, Circular Economy of Gobi Partners, and Dr. Marlon Era, Associate Professor of De La Salle University, on strategies on resources efficiency and management that enable circularity in the Philippines.
Another new tool that was launched during Building Green 2022 is Verde Districts version 1.0.0 as the tool for planning and implementing wider-scale green building projects. During Episode 10, the Verde Day, the pilot project proponents for Verde Districts shared their experience with the use of the tool and their sustainability strategies for their respective projects, including presentations from Mr. Rafael Fernandez de Mesa, President of Lima Land Inc. for the Lima Estate Project, Mr. John Wang, Executive Vice President of City Homes Builder and Development Inc. for Leora Homes Naik Project, Ms. Cristina Samantha Pobre, Sustainability Manager of Artalan Corporation for the Sibina Park Project, and Mr. Dondon Ubaldo, First Vice President of PHILGBC Alabang Inc. for the PHILGBC City Project. Newly certified projects under Verde Buildings were also featured during the episode, including presentations from Mr. Francis Rodriguez, Technical Planning Manager of Cebu Landmasters Inc. for Latitude Corporate Center Project, and Mr. Delfin Angelo Wenceslao, Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Anthony Ilaga of DM Wenceslao and Associates for Parcal Phase 1. The episode also featured presentations from Retail District Development, including Architect Helen Magno, Assistant Vice President of PHILGBC Alabang Inc. for the Festival Mall in PHILGBC City, and Il Corso at PHILGBC Life Mall Cebu City Projects, and Mr. Clifford Academia, Vice President for Operations of Lima Land Inc. for the Outlets at Lipa Project. To cap the Verde Day, the PHILGBC hosted a platform for the exchange of the expertise and experiences of green building professionals, which featured presentations from certified Verde professionals, including Ms. Camille Taborlupa, Project in charge of Ecotectonica Inc., Engineer Andres Muego, Proprietor Manager of TNM Consultancy and Allied Services, and Attorney Maria Cristina Samson, Chief Operating Officer of Minarco Development Corporation.
Green financial instruments support the transformation of our market towards a sustainable built environment. During Episode 13, the Green Financing, Mr. Sticonoli Cruz, Vice President and Head of the Program Development and Management Department of the Development Bank of the Philippines, Mr. Ronaldo Averion, Program Officer, Program Management Department of the Land Bank of the Philippines, Engineer Maria Imelda Pabros, Department Manager 3, Property Valuation Department of Pag-ibig Fund, and Mr. Kay Archer, Business Development Director for Asia of GRESP, presented their programs that support green transformation, available financing options, and investment mechanisms that support our sustainable development goals. The ANZPH Advancing Net Zero Energy version 1.1 was presented during Episode 14, The Advancing Net Zero, to share updates on the program and the tool. During the episode, technical presentations on energy conservation and optimization practices and the strategic use of renewable energy were highlighted by Ms. G. Garcia, Managing Director of LEO, Mr. Alexander Ablaza, President of the Philippine Energy Efficiency Alliance, and Mr. Mike Consenheim, Country Manager of Solar Energy Philippines. The PhilGBC continues to empower professionals and project proponents through the training courses for the different rating tools, including the Verde Professionals Basic Training Course, the Verde Districts Professionals Training Course, ANZPH Professionals Training Course,
and H&W Professionals Training Course. The PhilGBC welcomes a new set of certified Verde professionals, ANZPH accredited professionals, and H&W accredited professionals to the growing numbers of green builders in the Philippines. These episodes for BG2022 were possible with the sustained support of our BG2022 strategic partners. Gold strategic partners Neo, Aboitiz Infracapital Economic Estates, and City Homes Builders and Development. Silver strategic partners Wall Vision Corporation, Daikin Air Conditioning Philippines, and First Balfour. And bronze strategic partners Monocreek Construction Philippines, Botanica Nature Residences, Philinvest City, FPD Asia, AGC Asia Pacific Private Limited, and Datem Incorporated. For those who were not able to attend the episodes, follow the PhilGBC official YouTube channel for episodes of BG 2022.
To officially close the Building Green 2022 conference, we have Ms. Elizabeth Mendoza, Secretary of the Board of Trustees of the PhilGBC and Managing Director of Monocreek Construction Philippines.
Good day, everyone. Our Building Green 2022 has been a wonderful opportunity for learning, information sharing, and collaboration. We would like to thank all our speakers and panelists in all the episodes of Building Green 2022. Our partners in the national government, Senator Mark Villar, Secretary Rafael Lutilla of the Department of Energy, Secretary Maria Antonia Yuloy Loizaga of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Yusek Lilibeth David of the Department of Health, Director Patrick Aquino of the Department of Energy, Engineer Teodoro Villar Jr. of the Research and Development Division of the Department of Public Works and Highways, Mr. Kelvin Balakit of the Biodiversity Management Bureau of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Our partners in the local government, Makati City Mayor Marlene Abigail Binay and her representative, Engineer Merlina Panganiban, Iloilo City Mayor Jerry Treñas of the City of Iloilo and his representative, Engineer Neil Ravana, and Mandaue City Mayor Jonas Cortez and his representatives, Engineer Crystal Common and Architect Araceli Barlam of the City of Mandaue. Our partners in the government financial institutions, Mr. Rustico Noli Cruz of the Development Bank of the Philippines, Mr. Ronaldo Averion of the Land Bank of the Philippines, and Engineer Imelda Pabros of the Pag-ibig Fund. And to all our partner organizations and our participants present, we give you our deepest gratitude for your unending support. All of this would not be possible without you. As we campaign for greener, healthier, and safer building and communities, as with the sharing of strategies of our invited local and international thought leaders, and as project owners share their experience, challenges, and solutions in projects certified under PhilGBC's building certification tools, we hope this conference motivates you to push front and center green certifications. We have Verde Buildings version 4.20.0, Verde Districts version 1.0.0, ANZ PH Net Zero Energy, and PhilGBC Health and Well-being for Buildings Tool version 1.0.0. Among these are the two newly launched certification programs. Verde District's version 1.0.0, a building tool to address the environmental, social, and economic impacts in communities and campuses. PHILGBC Health and Well-being for Buildings version 1.0.0 to promote and direct our focus on the importance of health, safety, and overall well-being and building strategies for the benefit of occupants. With the training programs available, we encourage our certified Verde professionals to be instruments for developers and project owners to have their projects registered and certified by PHILGBC. Ladies and gentlemen, our call to action: business and government leaders to join us, private and public sector to register their projects under PHILGBC's certification tools, various industries to learn more about our work by enrolling in our training and certification courses, and developers, building owners, contractors, and project owners and consultants to be featured in the next Building Green Conference. Before I end my speech, I would also like to thank the PHILGBC Board of Trustees, led by Chair Edgar Sabidong, PHILGBC CEO Christopher De La Cruz and staff, the general membership, our gold strategic partners, NEO, Aboitiz Infra Capital, Economic Estates, and City Homes Builders and Development, Inc. Our silver strategic partners, World Vision Corporation, Daikin Air Conditioning Fails, Inc., and First Balfour, Inc. And lastly, our bronze strategic partners, Monocrete Construction Philippines, Inc., Botanical Nature Residences, PhilInvest City, FPD Asia, AGC Asia Pacific Private Limited, and Datum Incorporated. Together, let us persist in the transition to circularity with an understanding of renewable sources and allow the regeneration of our natural systems to flourish today. Fellow Green Builders, see you all in our 17th Building Green Conference 2023. Thank you.